Right now, Alliance suffer from a lack of damage output. And I'd like to see NiP try and abuse that.
There's no way to burst someone into a duel
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, but I mean they do, but they've got their 2 cores left to pick, so would assume they're going to get something to
We
make up
saw
for
a lot
that.
of Death Prophet yesterday.
I am not a fan. It's a lot of single target now. Never been a huge fan of LC Wraith King.
I think it's just the best carry left in the pool. What would you rather see here? I think you just pick it because you got to pick one of your cores before NiP do, and this is just the core that this isn't your game-winning hero. I mean, Limp's going to be on the game-winning hero,
True.
in a sense, but I don't know what's better. The Jug.
I would have
or-
rather seen an Ember.
Okay, and then like it could be safe lane or mid.
Yeah. I wouldn't have minded even a Razor in that situation, to be honest. But then I guess
Are people picking Razor nowadays?
not really.
No, I'm not. I wouldn't. I think Razor. There's just so much magic damage there. It's like you're not
You're not feeling
benefiting
tanky,
a lot from
yeah.
the static link necessarily. Like Gyro still does damage into static link.
Maybe even Sven's kind of dead. Sven could have been a possibility.
I mean, this is such a meta dictated by having good lanes, and that's where Wraith King is strong laner. Doesn't lose his lane really.
Yeah.
Can have tough lanes, but he won't typically lose.
Well, 2 melee cores into a Tide Hunter
Yeah.
and a Gyro. I mean,
Yeah,
this
this
is
is a good
so
side
much
pick.
AoE, so much control. You've also got the Lich, as you mentioned, with the Frost Shield and just the constant like slows, the armor. It's going to be very difficult to do any like right-click damage for Alliance.
Well, the Rubik is huge in this game now. You're playing against Lich, you're playing against Tide. If Hanska has a good performance, you could solve a lot of issues with the Alliance draft.
So
But
it's now a mid Rubik.
mm,
Is it that huge?
I didn't think so. We saw one mid Rubik.
yeah.
It was like, oh yeah, it's a mid Rubik game. Maybe not.
Somewhere Dendy was smiling,
Yeah.
but
games. If you assume that lanes aren't like a total snowball for one team, I'm telling you, 80% of the time, 90% of the time, if you look at the 2 drafts and you say, all right, at some point, if these 5 heroes just ran down the river into each other.
into like a meat blender.
And everyone got their spells off, who would win? If one team would decisively win, easily, right? I always have to favor them. And thus far, the NiP draft.
Just if everyone just presses
So
all their
much easier.
but basically bot TI style.
Yes,
Right.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that kind of happens in most games because it's so hard to actually press advantages using like economic map control. It's going to be a fight around a tower, around Roche.
He makes it sound so crude, you know. Like Dota is a beautiful orchestra, symphony, Kyle.
Yeah.
Yes,
A dance.
that all happens, but eventually
Eventually,
you're
you just
taking
come down
out
to
your
brass
tuba
tacks,
and you're
you know?
just you're hitting the flute player in the
Stop
face.
blowing the tuba and start smacking
Exactly.
with the tuba. All right. Kyle Dota.
That's how we do it.
Bringing out your inner swindle. All right. The Invoker gets banned out.
I approach casting the same way.
Yeah.
I just bludgeon the viewers with my
With
words.
knowledge. Knowledge and tough talk.
Just words.
Just words. Mindless words.
Yeah.
OD ban.
That's a hero that would have been that
Really,
game-winning
yeah.
hero. Yeah. They're looking for that kind of just big, high-impact mid.
And it'll be a troll for NiP.
I love this draft.
Another hero that's great against these melee carries. The blind, the
Yeah.
survivability in the team fights.
It's another
the
form of
bash.
damage mitigation as well, which is
Or not
really
the bash,
cool.
the net.
Because now you have the damage reduction from your armor on Lich, from the Tide Anchor Smash. Now you have blind as a mechanic you have to worry about. Gyro is going to rush a
They
BKB.
need like a range damage dealer, it feels like,
Yeah.
for sure.
You need a
Yeah.
Medusa, honestly. You need something.
But isn't Medusa like way too slow for
I don't
this?
think
But
need
how do you win the
Medusa.
game
You need-
otherwise?
But is there another hero like that can like fight earlier? Like you mentioned, Luna's out of favor as well.
I liked those the back to the Ember idea. Doesn't sound too bad. Even like a
doesn't.
storm spirit. Like
Storm-
this is a good
It's
storm
a
game.
terrible storm game.
How?
Troll. You hate playing against Troll. You
Why
hate
do you
playing
play
against
against
Tide.
Troll?
Because you get
Against Storm?
blinded constantly. You can't actually deal overload.
Your
damage.
overload doesn't work if
Yeah.
you miss.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't think that's like a hard counter storm biting means.
It's
not
not
fun,
a
I
counter, but
guess.
I'm just look. Storms hates playing against massive team fight,
Okay.
and that's what this is. Because you can't actually.
This is a death ball lineup.
Yeah, it's a
for
different
sure.
lineup, and early game is a possibility. That I love. This is the right pick.
I did
And this
mention,
is one of Limp's
mention
best heroes.
they picked it twice yesterday.
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
they won both games in like 25, 28 minutes.
Yep, I should have seen that
So,
one coming. It's again mixed damage, spread damage, has the ability to kill towers. It's got AOE.
Doesn't
some
care about
utility.
being blinded. Builds
Exactly.
tanky to survive
Yeah.
the combo. So on paper, it sounds good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually the right. There isn't a better hero here. It's kind of functions like a Dusa, right? In concept, in terms of how it'll position in the team fight, the fact that you'll front line, you'll be the one hitting the tower. It's just a different manner of achieving the same result.
Come to think of it, I am slightly surprised NiP didn't ban it because Alliance did pick this twice yesterday.
Yeah.
But I guess OD also could be very scary this game. A lot of heroes are gonna get neutered by that ult.
Yeah, they don't have much to do with a BKB OD right now.
No.
If that came into play, suddenly you're building up a lot of int and just blowing people up. But yeah. Good gives them a way to win this game. This death.
There's a hope.
There's
a hope.
Oh, I mean, I don't think it was. That's the thing. Like their draft was always going to look kind of a little bit weaker because they're utilizing the 10th pick to pull their draft together. That's like the idea with having last pick of the draft. So things come together for them. And these lanes to me still look pretty scary. Like Legion, Rubik. To me,
King,
should
Jakiro.
win their lane. Maybe the Wraith King lane, Jakiro, but we'll see how that one goes. But Wraith King into Tide is Tide's very, very good pick into Wraith King.
Yep.
You're not worried about the skeletons. You've got Anchor Smash. You've got damage reduction. But I think we could see Skyder getting pressured a lot. That's what happened last game. Nico Baby free farm. Skyder was playing catch up, and that had a big impact over how the game went.
All right, we enter the field of battle here, getting ready for game number 2. Alliance to take the first. They're busting out the Death Prophet to try and close this one out.
And we'll see. It does put them on somewhat of a... Who's on that? I don't know if they're on a clock as Alliance, but it's a more difficult game for sure for them to execute. You got a player on the DP ult. Limp's going to need to have rotations without jeopardizing his farming patterns. Nico Baby's probably going to go for a more active build. And then Hanskin, he's got to steal a Ravage or a Chain Frost or something to have that high game impact. Whereas NiP, you just kind of hit your buttons and things start to die if they're out of position.
Not going to see the early skirmishes this time around, it appears. Oh, maybe.
Maybe. There's a lot of heroes bottom. Both teams want
NiP
bottom
are
heroes.
moving in. Viver's got the boots.
Alliance brought their mid, though.
They brought the gang.
Well, I guess Gunner's here, too. But
They're wrapping around. This could go south as they move south. NiP looking to sneak in.
Alliance have numbers. They've got the 4v3.
They're thinking about it. It's Gunner out in front. Fada sweeping through the trees. Hello, Gyrocopter. Can they bring him down? The toss back towards the Rubik, who's ready with the body block. Hanskin should be able to finish this off. Gunner low, pops the Fairy Fire. Not quite enough damage just yet. They've got another stun. Oh, they'll zap him. And the kill secured. So you wanted a good game for the Rubik, and Hanskin off to a hot start.
Tried to leave the kill for Limp to get there. You want your mid ideally to get that kill, but just steals in the end.
Probably early boots here for the Rubik, so
yeah,
should be beneficial.
Yep.
33. Going to take some early damage, but Hanskin's already made the rotation. So our lanes are going to shape up. The Rubik Legion headed to the off lane. The Jakiro Wraith King down bottom up against the Tide Tiny double melee versus the Jakiro.
Not really much tossback threat here. I feel like Biver's going to struggle to find someone to have impact on this game. There's the tossbacks mid, sure, but anytime he's missing from bottom, I feel like you're going to be expecting that one.
Some early blows being traded. It's creep shenanigans as Biver is going to lure them back. So far, unclear if NiP are going to make any adjustments to this setup.
Yeah, I think this is Biver's best job right now, just pulling these waves, because
just be disruptive to the creep equilibrium.
I mean, Tiny Tide is not a dual lane, really. There's no real synergy in this lane.
But it works well because you can't stop the Tiny from pulling, and then he can try and give some solo XP to Tide later on. Yep. In theory, you want to actually play away from him because you just need level 2 as a Tiny.
Yeah. So you pull waves from him, and then you go rotate mid or just mess with Fada, mess with the last hits that Nico Baby's getting.
Yep. Because you can't really deal with a Tide if he has a level advantage on your bottom as a Wraith King.
Hanskin playing very aggressive here up in the top lane.
Yeah, he's got the early stick with the first blood. He's got 33. He's got the press the attack. This is a scary lane.
Well, they are going to try to turn back for the Rubik, but Hanskin's able to stay at range. They are bringing Skyder pretty low. A lot of pressure early on here for the Troll.
33 is 10 stick charges on Legion, so there's so much sustain between these two heroes.
And they still have a fair amount of consumables available.
Yep.
And level 1 heal is 110 mana for 150 plus HP. and it also removes the blind.
More skirmishing down bottom as Fada tanks a Gush. Universe able to bring him low with the Anchor Smash. Biver does have 2 stick charges. Wouldn't be enough for another spell, though. So NiP will back off. In the mid lane thus far, very even as far as CS goes, guys. So a pretty close start here to the lanes. No massive advantages just yet.
I think not.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the big part of picking this troll was making sure they had a core in this against this tough lane that can match up, because you need a strong laning core into this Legion Rubik lane, and troll with the Lich there is at least getting some farm.
He's got a lot of armor, pretty tanky, and especially with the blind, it's hard to finish him off.
Yeah.
Trying to bully Hanskin back. PPD working him down, but Hanskin gonna dance away around the trees, just playing with Peter for the moment.
Yeah, as much as, the CS-wise it looks kind of even, it does feel like Alliance are winning all these, like, harass trades. Like, the NiP side are going through a lot more regen across all 3 lanes. Like, even just taking a peek at net worth, like, Radiant cores are doing a lot better.
Again, the back and forth.
Oh, Peter got the kill for that suicide.
Oh, he did get him.
Yeah, that was a suicide to the tower, but I guess he'd taken damage recently enough.
Not channeling my Grand cameraman there, boys.
I mean, that's not really a miskill. That's,
I
he
was
suicide to a tower.
Okay. I'll do better, Grant, I promise. I'll make you proud.
Isn't that better, Kyle, that Peter gets the kill rather than the gold being spread anyways?
I agree. I think it's always better for 5s to get kills, personally.
No, better. I mean, better for Alliance.
No.
It's gold going to a 5 rather than.
You know how hard it is
cores.
to get gold as a 5?
Yeah, but it's the same amount of overall gold, right? Or is it not? Did you get more if it's a kill?
Actually,
I don't know how the math works on that.
I think it's about team net worth nowadays, where you'll see sometimes numbers get really weird because the team will be like down by less than 1,000, but because they get a kill, there's like a multiplier attached to the net worth differential.
Okay.
And that's where it gets significant.
Oh,
but that takes
Limp.
a while.
He knew Biver was here. They did get the scan off. Can he get the toss back? He will. Hello, Death Prophet. Can they finish the job, though? Does start sucking away and turning around onto Biver. One more. Doesn't even need the auto attack. Able to just drain him down with the Spirit Siphon. So an ambitious toss that backfires.
It's a really nice play.
And then 3 bounties to top it off. So Alliance quickly seizing the initiative here.
Yeah, they're playing really well. They're winning both mid and top lane, even though the CS is kind of even. They at least have advantages in those lanes. And these lanes kind of get harder. Like 33 already has his first Bracer out on Legion Commander.
I love the build too. Just 0-2-2, going straight for the trade.
Yep.
And you can't beat this hero in lane when he goes this build if you're even.
Already 1,000 health. Troll sitting on only 800 here.
Yeah, I mean, the kill threat from NiP is very magic damage based, so even just this Bracer, you get a bit of extra magic resist, you get HP. You just feel so incredibly tanky because of that. And teams NiP are just all in on going for these mid kills. There's another smoke rotation from Biver.
Yep. It's not the play. Like, you don't want to try and kill DP until you
She's
drive
level
6.
6 now,
Has
too.
double Spirit
Yeah.
Siphons. This isn't a kill. I think maybe just get ward down, but
Hanskin and PPD duking it out. Hanskin definitely getting harassed pretty heavily here. Doesn't seem to have a great spot as Biver makes his move in. Is he going to find the Rubik? No. They'll try to head towards the Legion, but I mean, good luck killing this guy anytime soon. They're going to
is doing here. He's level 5.
Gush. Oh, he gets the Spirit Siphon off.
He had haste, so he's trying to bait a TP out maybe.
Yeah.
But there was no way they're gonna kill there.
Yeah. Another strength of Limp is he's probably one of your best 1v2 mid laners, like in Dota. There were a lot of games in Complexity we would leave him on an island, and he would, on a hero like DP, he's just going to be completely fine in his lane.
He got a kill when he got ganked in a 1v2 scenario. Like,
and this is something we did in Complexity a lot. Limp was always just left alone.
They want to make a move here on Universe before he gets his level 6. They'll drop him back, but the rotation coming in, double TP coming in. Now the list Frost Shield, they're going to turn this around. Fada down for the count. Universe still trucking. NiP, 4 heroes headed bottom for that, though. Big commitment.
Yeah, and that actually ends up okay for Alliance, considering that both Gunner and PPD, like, I mean, all those TPs just make it worth it in the end.
And Uni's level 6 now, too.
They're trying to wrap around on this Death Prophet. Homing missile coming through. Oh, he's just too far back.
Yeah.
The wards are just spotting all this, and there we go. Biver realizes, gets a D ward, but
yeah, I'm telling you, Limp is really good at that. And that's kind of what his criticism is as well. It's just that he plays the first 10 minutes like somebody that's an S-tier Dota player. It's just a question of whether he can close it out and bring home the W. He's going to rotate towards top. Max drains, no points in ulti, but still got to be cautious if you're trolling your tower. Yeah, Duel will be up in a sec.
Has that skill point. And at the same time, NiP also smoking. They've got an Arcane Rune on the Gyro. He can pump out the damage now.
I'm searching.
This could really backfire for Alliance with this big rotation coming through. Hanskin in the neighborhood, and Skyder just trying to bait them a little bit, toy with them. Homing missile, commitment. Now the flat cannon, the avalanche, the toss. He's very tanky, though. Can they bring him down in time? PPD in the middle of this. The Ravage to NiP. Huge commitment. They'll get 1. They'll get 2, but not before the duel. No, maybe 33 gets away here. He's so tanky with the level 3 heal. Juking into the trees. Has the TP out. They're going to chase the other way. They want Hanskin. Has NiP bitten off more than they can chew? Will they get additional kills? Hanskin might just walk away after all that. The TP out from the Legion. Nico Baby doesn't even lose his ult. They committed so much there.
If I'm Limp, I'm a little upset with my boy 3-3 because he didn't heal me. He buffed himself for the duel win. And if DP survives there, like, you're killing everyone. And it really, like, they're out of spells. If he had just survived for maybe 5 more seconds, perhaps there's a turnaround. He had a wand? Like, all right.
He used the first heal on him, didn't he? Or
no.
Okay, he didn't use any.
Maybe he did, like, right
I think he used one right at the start.
It wouldn't have been possible because he had it active on himself, like, right at the duel went off.
Okay.
They're trying to hold this tower still.
They know there's no Ravage.
Universe is stuck around the whole time, but do they have the damage to bring this Legion down? If they toss him back into the Gyro, they just might. Gunner gets the kill, the call down coming through. Nico Baby, though, still has his ultimate. Needs to get that Midas off for the efficiency.
Yeah.
No, he's not stopping for the Midas. He wants the heroes. Will he get either? Comes back for round 2. Ever so low. Limp also in danger. They chuck him up. He comes back down. Now heads to the right. Limp on a wild merry-go-round, tries to escape, tries to retreat. He runs back into the universe, gets caught, will fall again. The tower slowly chipped away at by these creeps in deny range, and they'll get the deny.
Alliance just forcing a bit too hard there.
And it's so bad for Limp's game when he dies twice in a row. Like the first death, it's fine. They TP 4 heroes, everyone except Oliver there. It's a Ravage. That death is totally fine. That doesn't hurt Alliance at all, even though they maybe could have saved him. But that death right after respawning is...
He's got 1 drain and no ulti when he comes back top. You just want to let him sit middle, recover a bit. You don't need this top tower. It's not going to change the game state too much.
Yeah, they saw it low, and they just wanted to throw the kitchen sink at it.
You already accomplished your goal. You forced the TPs. Skyder had to go bottom. Like, Troll went bottom because he recognizes he doesn't want to play safe lane anymore. That tower top will die at some point. You don't want to force it.
Both mid heroes very poor with the Death Prophet and Gyro around 3K. You've got a Universe offlane Tidehunter sitting at 4.2, and the Legion not far behind him. So we're seeing this very selfless rotating early game play from the mids.
Yep. I mean, Nico Baby's huge. Once again, very active. 103 has the Midas up. And that's kind of the X factor for Alliance because they've effectively put themselves, like, they're off the clock now. NiP, you need to find a way to get your Troll and Gyro into this game. Because otherwise, you're going to be playing against a Radiance Wraith King by like 20 minutes, and you won't have the tools to deal with it.
It seems a lot of weight may fall on Universe's shoulders then with the farm he's managed to acquire. Heading for the early Vlads.
It's always hard when you're tied, though, because it's like when you have Ravage ready to fight, you don't really feel like you're this active playmaker. I mean, this is Universe on a comfort here, though. It is that big R button hero, but you need a partner. In this case, probably the Gyrocopter to play around.
Biver wanting to set something up in the bottom lane. He gets the avalanche, tossing back into the troll. but the Ice Path comes through. Fada staying strong for now. They'll commit really heavily here, popping his ultimate. Juking around the trees. Fada seems a matter of time. Finally, his team has taken note. They want to come support him. Can they get the kills? Limp with the double Spirit Siphon. Doing what he can as Biver goes for the TP out, but 33 there with the dual kill secured. Plus 20 now. Looking good. They threw a lot after just a Jakiro, and well, they'll finally bring him down. But NiP are setting up for more. They've got the Chain Frost. They've got the Ravage. And PPD still has a little time left on this Invis rune, but as you see Universe charge forward, you've got to suspect there's something behind him, and Limp walks right into it. Another death for Limp. Just Chain feeding at this point, it really feels.
They didn't really want to be playing down bottom. They were the initial plan from Fada was pretty much just let him die there. That's why he drops the Macro Pyre to defend, because his job as a 5 is just keep this tower alive as long as possible. They didn't even TP right away because he's just meant to die if he gets ganked there. They kind of decided, okay, they're diving tower, I guess let's punish, but then they're in this position on the map where they just don't want to be playing.
Nice Ice Pad through the trees, barely going to clip in with the duel. 33 melting in the Macro Pyre to they get another duel win, no Gunner. Barely able to survive, will eventually drop. Denies the damage at least.
A little slow on the Macro Pyre. Had he been a bit more efficient, might have got that dual win, but you'll take those.
This is Alliance
blame the Jakiro.
Hey, in Space for Nico, baby, remember, there's a Wraith King with Midas just free farming.
They're okay to trade, but not too many one-sided kills, and 33 looks like he'll get out with the phase drums. Very mobile. It does just feel like this ticking time bomb on the Wraith King, but you worry about the Death Prophet, and can she get back into this game? Still trying to complete these phase boots, and we're 14 minutes in.
It's tough for Limp for sure.
Not tough for 33 though.
Yeah, he's a
tanky boy. He comes in and will get another duel win, setting his team up so much. They commit the Exorcism. They want this tower. No Ravage for a minute. Alliance playing the timings very nicely, making their move with the stolen Rocket Barrage. Universe is not as tanky as he thinks he is. Great play there from the Rubik. Hanskin swagging out.
That Spell Amp with Rocket Barrage.
Oof.
Chain Frost, it's bouncing, but not much.
Limp, not again. Can he get away here? The team to the rescue. Hanskin coming in from the side.
Fine.
He's killing off cores, and 33 charging forward too. Skyder joins the fight, but can that troll man mode against 4? I don't think so. Make it 5. Wow. 4 heroes dead for NiP. The worst time to fight too. No Ravage available for any of that, and one by one trickling in.
That wasn't, like, Nico wasn't really even there. Like, I don't...
That's terrifying.
Never just, like, running into Alliance, and they're outplaying them. Like, I don't...
They are, but at the same time, they're trying to fight, like, a troll. This is a troll with no items. Like, this is not a hero that wants to be fighting. Like, I don't understand why Skyder's TPing in there to try and defend this tower into Exorcism and the Death Prophet.
And your Tide's dead with no Ravage. Like, it's a very simple strategy. With Ravage up, go fight. With no Ravage, don't fight. And if you try and force it, like, Alliance can play that aggressive because they know there's no threat of Uni TPing in to turn things around. He'd already died. And they've look at the spell damage that this team possesses. You know, all of these heroes have at least 2 active abilities that provide utility.
Well, let me ask you about that. Given that the Vlad's first here on the Tide, do you feel like there should be a pipe rush, or is this still the way to go?
You kind of always go Vlad's first. It just gives you sustain, the mana regen.
He felt so squishy with the stolen Rocket Barrage. Like, he just melts to the Rubik. Has to really respect the nuke damage.
Yeah, if he'd spent more of this downtime when he doesn't have Ravage farming, and he would have like a Hood by now, I think things would look a lot better, because he is the most farmed on his team, but he's still forcing these fights when they don't need to.
Well, they can force one now. They've got the Ravage up. Universe sweeping in from the side, but Fada will simply retreat. And it looks like they will sacrifice the Tier 1 without having to commit the Ravage. No tower trade elsewhere on the map for now. Just a little farming as Hanskin closing in on his Aether Lens.
This Radiance timing is so scary. NiP don't have any items really to match up against it. Both cores aren't going to have BKB for a long time. Neither Troll nor Gyro feels like they can really team fight.
The problem with the NiP lineup is just look at the damage output as far as spells, right? Troll doesn't really have much. Lich has ulti, sure. Tide's lower damage. Alliance has so many nukers.
They're looking to fight bottom.
PBD? No heals.
Also, Alliance has, they're pretty tanky when you start to look like Jakiro support. You've got the Rubik.
LC with the heal. Wraith King obviously has 2 lives. Limp's doing a good job getting off all his drains.
The Death Prophet is really the squishiest hero if he's not getting off the Spirit Siphons early, it feels like.
And he even went for the magic resist talent over the damage, which you never see. But
40
in this
damage
game,
is insane.
Yeah. I personally think you almost always want the damage, but in theory, he's really just not going to be auto-attacking in fights. He just wants to stay alive.
Yeah, exactly. They've got enough damage. And if he just tanks it up on the front lines, that's great. With the LC heal and the Spirit Siphon. Like last fight, he went from almost like 100 health to full from 1 LC heal and Spirit Siphon.
Alliance could be looking to group up here. 5 heroes around the mid lane. Did see the casual buckler grab from Limp. Now heading back for that Yules, and they do catch out PPD. In trouble. Easy duel, easy win. 48 damage. A hot start for 33. Looking like a threat.
He's going for all these team items too. Phase drums. Now he's got a hood into a pipe. It's just the new style of offlane. Even when you're playing these non-traditional, like tanky, team fight-oriented item offlanes, you're still getting them.
I love watching Nico Baby play, guys. I'm telling you, this dude's the truth. His farming patterns are strong, but even little things like ditching camps early to just come top, push this wave, set up for the next move for Alliance. It'll be timed with his Radiance purchase. He's already got the courier at the side shop. Just very efficient, but it's more important, like his movement makes sense. Yeah. And he's always thinking about how does he farm in a way that ensures his team gets helped out as much as possible. He hasn't left top since like 10 minutes in.
They're ready to take an objective now. Radiance arrives, and the march is on. Fada's still hanging out near mid. They've got a ward set up. They do have the duel available. They're going to go for PPD. Another duel win. 66 damage. They're just farming the Lich at this point.
Peter.
I mean, they've got that vision. And Bivert,
Quelling Blade. Get caught. Quelling Blade through. Gets the stun. Great instincts by Nico Baby. And another great kill. Limp the one to get the last hit. Tower down. Suddenly, you might have to worry about losing all your outer towers and by the 25-minute mark. And this is what happened when Alliance picked the Death Prophet in the past, though. You know, the hero itself hasn't had the best game. The results are similar.
Oh, this is so good, too. They're TPing bottom. They know they've got control at top for these bounty runes, and bounty rune spawning means any bounty runes NiP get is down here, so they're rotating everybody down for this fight.
Yeah, get away from my runes.
Yeah, I like if Nico Baby hadn't seen anyone, we would have cut that next wave, too. Now they're probably going to look to back here, but it's just the way they're moving around the map is just great. To your point, they're going to get 3 runes here. Fada pushed mid-tower as everyone else on his team is getting stuff done.
Yep. Well, actually, nobody getting the top runes just yet. But
I think Alliance, no, there's just NiP have no access to that part of the map, so they'll get them in due time.
Yeah, look how aggressive this ward is. Just like all the way at the dire tier 2 mid.
Yeah.
Alliance are going to smoke behind that. They are setting up on Fada, who's going to tank a homing missile here. Alliance looking for their opportunity to jump in, and they're likely going to see a retreating hero head towards that ward. Up the hill they go. Drums getting popped, turns off the Radiance so as not to give it up, but Gunnar also popping his drums, desperately retreating, so we'll dodge the gank.
Universe, though, he's in some trouble. He's going to have to TP out of here, it looks like. I don't know if they'll make it in time.
Oh, they get the lift.
They got duel.
This is looking like a dead Tidehunter. No backup in sight, no tier 2 to go to. They'll even get another duel win. This Legion is quickly becoming a hard carry at this rate.
Chasing down for Peter, too.
They're getting outplayed everywhere around this map. Alliance are playing this game like they're on faster settings. NiP, I said I love their teamfight lineup, still do, but you know, when you get beaten in the lanes and then you aren't able to find those fights. You know, we've seen Ravage used twice, I think both times for solo kills. Alliance they're just out farming, outplaying, outpacing.
Well, they invested so much in those early game fights. I think we saw 2, 4, or 5 hero rotations trying to set up a Ravage victory, and at best the fights were like a wash, or even I think they lost one of them. And then all the while, Nico Baby is just farming away, and now look at him.
I'm telling you, it's where he's farming, though. That's most important. He was in the aggro jungle and top lane like this whole time. It makes it
not just
natural
that,
for Alliance to play.
I mean, you mentioned using the skeletons effectively. Like he has them walking behind the tower, scouting out heroes. NiP can't really make a play on that side of the map when he's around. Is Fada? He'll get the TP out. No luck there.
Fada's, his understanding of how to play this 5 position, I've been so impressed. He's like always down here, uses Macro Pyre. As soon as he's at the dangerous farm, he just drops Macro Pyre, hides, and goes for the TP out. He got called that one time. This time he's out in time.
Yep, and that's how, again, it goes back to the movement. It's because you want your Nico baby, your like strong hero that's trying to accelerate, that you want to play around. He goes the off lane. You let your 5 just kind of die in the safe lane. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, but he has to play the dead area of the map.
I mean, saying 5, he's actually got more farm than Rubik is the crazy thing. Not that Hanskin's doing anything wrong, just the nature of Jakiro pushing waves has gotten him a lot of farm.
Both supports having a lot of impact here in Alliance overall.
Yeah.
The number of times we've seen NiP chasing after Jakiro, whether or not they get the kill, and all the while other lanes are being farmed, no one else is being ganked.
They got a blink on Wraith King now. It's go time. You could theoretically just keep pushing. You have Jakiro and DP with the healing of an LC behind
we talked about the meat grinder. I think at this point, Alliance actually win in that meat grinder.
They do.
I believe the pipe is flying out right now for Legion.
Is under attack.
Maybe just wait next Exorcism and even consider threatening high ground.
But is there any plan B for NiP? Like, you're going to get out-farmed so hard against this Wraith King. You've got a Troll who's gone for an early defusal, so definitely wants to be battling, and it just feels like you can't battle unless Alliance are really out of position.
You're sticking with your plan A, which is just try and form your cores, your Troll and your Gyro, and then fight with BKB.
Nico baby ain't having it. Onto the tower he goes, brains in the army. Still has that one ranged creep on the high ground, but Universe gonna take care of it with a girthy anchor smash.
Risky liquid fire.
They are committing here on Fata, but Glimmer Cape keeps him alive, and Wraith King lunges in, gets the PPD kill yet again. They're gonna duel up the Tidehunter. Will he even get off the Ravage? He will, and then he dies immediately. The cooldown comes through. Good combination. I think Alliance thought they could burst him. They might pay for this.
Nice
Legion's still alive. He'll get back to safety. They're kiting Skyder. They're controlling him. The Troll is dead. And so too are more on the back lines. A triple kill for Nico baby. Make it an ultra. No, Limp with the double. All 5 survive. Tanky, Resilient, and Alliance waste no time with this Death Prophet pick and looking to end the game. We're under 25 minutes, and they're banging on the front door, kicking it in. NiP, looks like they're going to get 2-0'd here.
Oh, yeah.
They're just so far ahead. Like, I don't think Fata probably should be going for that liquid fire in the tower there, but he's so tanky with all these items and the backup from Legion that he ends up being the perfect bait, even if that maybe wasn't the game plan from making that play.
Yep. And if you buy more time for NiP here, if they're not so out-farmed by Nico baby, perhaps that BKB timing comes out, they want to fight decisively and things could shift, but the DP pick for Alliance, just the way they've played this game, they really showed how right now in the meta, if you can take that 4K gold lead, get map control with it, it almost becomes 8 or 10 overnight. Then you get Aegis, now the towers fall, and the game kind of plays itself. Really well done.
Well, first they beat the Wraith King, now they're showing NiP. This is how you play it. Nico baby, definitely the star of this series.
0 deaths in 2 games. He's being flawless.
And very involved, too. 13 out of 21 kills. Not quite on the level of the Void performance, but Wraith King, of course, more of a farmer in those early stages. And they will start threatening this Tier 2 bottom.
They're just so good at, like, pretending and like faking NiP out like they're pushing a lane while hunting for kills. Like Hanskin and Limp there were almost finding a pick off at mid while like Wraith King showing bottom. So.
Yeah, that's what we saw earlier when they were pushing the Tier 2 and then they rotated onto mid, got the backstab last game.
Yep.
Really lulling NiP into a false sense of security.
And if NiP avoid it, well, you're just going to go high ground now. This time you have Exorcism. That wasn't even available before.
Full BKB in the stash here for Limp. Not that they necessarily need to wait for it. They'll just go high ground now. Reaching it as Nico baby. Completed Assault Caress is up. Already headed towards the Abyssal Blade. Should the game go that long. And just hammering away on the Tier 3 bottom. Looking for the second lane of Rax. Can NiP find a way in? Is there any hope for the Ninjas in Pajamas? It ain't looking too great.
Looking for a blink tossback, I imagine, to start this one.
33 just waiting for that duel opportunity. Hasn't even bothered with the blink. Doesn't need it. They'll just keep on purging Nico Baby. Let him be the siege engine in the front lines, and he starts the fight. Blinks in, gets the crits on PPD. Can't quite finish him off. There's the blink toss. Does bring the Legion Commander back, but that's a very tanky target to look to bring down. They get off a spell steal here. Handskin just gets the homie missile for now, and Limp standing strong with the BKB arriving. Exorcism up. Universe already having committed the Ravage. Retreats and won't make it out. Limp suddenly unstoppable after that rough start. This game feeling all but over.
Yeah, they'll get the melee Rex. Oh, maybe not. There's a Siege Creep.
Playing it safe. Still has the Aegis, has the Reincarnation up again as well. But Nico Baby playing far back, going to let his team do the heavy lifting for a moment as the lift comes through. They lock down Gunner, keep on chipping away at him, and they will finish him off. Skyder now with the BKB rushing forward, but they're just going to walk away. The Troll doesn't have a whole lot of CC.
Uh-oh.
That feels bad. Now he may pay. He's going to get clipped by the end of the Ice Path. Another death, a 2-0.
That's over.
GG.
Utter dominance. Really just an excellent performance by both of the Alliance cores. 7-3-16 on Limp, making the DP shine. Can't believe we didn't see it coming, but it was a perfect pick. They closed it out in 28.
So NiP not out of it yet, but it's going to be a tough road from here on out with that 2-0.
Yeah, I think they'll probably
Puts
have
them
one
at
more series
1-1-1, right? So they should be
Yes.
3-3 overall, I believe.
Yes,
Alliance at 5-1.
Yeah, and they're tied with Godsent now, and that is their last match. So NiP will play Godsent. If it's 1-1, we're going to have tiebreakers to see who will advance in the major qualifier. If it is 2-0 for either side, they will advance along with Alliance into that upper bracket. Adfinem still have a chance too.
Yeah,
they
Adfinem
play
they're tied as well.
6-8-3.
No, if Adfinem get a win, they're
You're right. Sorry. Yeah, you're right.
because Adfinem don't have any wins, but they have 3 draws. So those
Correct.
3 teams,
So
are all
Adfinem
dead even.
control their destiny right now, then.
if they
Yes.
win, and then one of those other 2 teams wins, then there's going to be
Oh,
ties.
then they'll play for tiebreaker.
Yeah, but otherwise, I think it's very possible NiP Godsent's a tie, and then
and
Adfinem
Adfinem
gets
win,
2-0.
and then Adfinem.
Who's
is in
Adfinem
playoffs.
got left?
6-8-3, who have
Who-
currently not won a game.
6-8-3 are not looking too solid.
Ooh.
So Adfinem have
This is-
a really good shot.
Kinda
You've got
crazy.
some big names here on this NiP roster, and historically, you see like PPD Universe. It's like, okay, this is a tier 1 team. Of course, they're going to make it through, but there are no guarantees in King's Cup.
Oh, for sure.
Anything can
Never.
happen,
Anything can happen. It's Dota.
including beautiful Dota. Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, what do we have coming up next? Which one are we casting?
We have
the Godsent match, or
Adfinem 6-8-3, and
Okay.
then it's NiP Godsent. So actually, all those games we just hyped up, you're going to see them here.
stay tuned.
Ooh.